Hello everyone, this is a math lesson on equivalent fractions and how you can figure out equivalent fractions with just numbers, but I'm also going to show you how you can understand why it works when we are figuring equivalent fractions like these here. And this is a three-part lesson. You need to know three things or understand three things to get this. So let's start with the first thing. The first thing we want to understand is that anything times 1 is going to be itself. So 5 times 1, 1 times 23 is going to give you 5 and 23. And this works for decimals too. So 4 tenths or 0.4 times 1 is going to give us 4 tenths. And for fractions as well. So 1 times 4 fifths is still going to be 4 fifths. Anything times 1 is itself. Pretty simple. Step 2, another simple idea or concept that I think most people know. When you have a fraction and the numerator and denominator are the same, that fraction equals 1. So 3/3, this is going to be one whole rectangle. 2 halves, this is one whole triangle. 4/4 is one whole circle. These are all equal to 1. And if you were to keep going, 5/5, 6/6, 100 hundredths, anytime those numbers are the same, it's equal to 1. It's the same as 1. So let's put those two things together. If I have a fraction like 3/4 and I multiply it by 1, it's still going to be 3/4. It doesn't change. 3/4 times 1 equals 3/4. But we agree that if we put a fraction here with the same numerator and denominator, it's the same as 1. These are all the same as 1. It's like multiplying by 1. So if I replace this 1 with 2 halves, for example, this is the same as 3/4 times 1. 3/4 times 2 halves is just going to give us 3/4 again, but it's going to give us another number, an equivalent fraction. And you may not have done multiplication of fractions, but it's pretty simple. You just go straight across this way. So 3 times 2 is 6. And 4 times 2 is 8. So 3/4 and 6/8 are equivalent. They're the same thing. 3/4 times 1 equals 3/4. And let's try another one. So 3/4. Let's do another version of 1. So how about 3/3 is the same as 1? 3/4 times 1 is going to be 3/4. So 3/3 times 3/4. We'll do 3 times 3 on top, and 4 times 3 on the bottom, or numerator and denominator. And 9/12 is also the same as 3/4. And you could just keep going and going and going. And you could probably, if you do it in order, even notice a pattern. Here we have 3, 6, 9, 4, 8, 12. So these are all the same number. They're all equivalent fractions. So if you ever have a problem like this where you have to list some equivalent fractions for 1/2, you can just use the little trick that we just learned. So I'll just multiply 1/2 by a bunch of versions of 1. And they can be any versions of 1 you want, as long as the numerator and denominator are the same. So all of these are versions of 1 multiplying by 1. So again, you're just multiplying straight across. 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10, to get your answers. And all of these are equivalent to 1/2. So it's pretty simple. You can also draw pictures for these to show what 1/2 would look like. Something like this. But I think once you get the ideas in your head, it's pretty easy to figure out equivalent fractions just using the numbers. The important thing is you understand the ideas behind it. So again, anything times 1 is itself. These fractions are all another way of saying 1. So that allows us to do calculations like this. I think you probably get it now. I'll do one more example for people who really need a little bit more help, but if you do understand, then you can do whatever work you need to do with equivalent fractions. Let's just do one more. How about 2/3? So what would be equivalent to 2/3? Just choose whatever versions of 1 you want to use. So I'll do these and then multiply across, and you'll get different versions of 2/3. Just like that. Please post questions if you have them, but otherwise, thank you for watching this video. Bye.